Wise gives you more to love.
Did you know introducing different Gerber puree flavors into your baby's diet can expand their palate and allow them to accept more flavors and texture at an early age? With Gerber, you can explore and be adventurous by introducing more variety to your little one's diet with our new Gerber puree portfolio in a convenient squeezable pouch format in fun flavors like apple, pear, and mango. Gerber purees are 100% natural fruit purees and do not contain preservatives. Gerber, from 6 months onward.
When you're locked down and you can't bring nobody in the studio to line with you on the street, you had to find ways to get a nice little line. This Saturday, liming with the live wire is Kaiso, taking you back to the old time days. Some of the greatest Kaiso classics that you've ever heard that you haven't heard in quite some time is going to provide the backdrop this Saturday from 5 to 8 on the street 919 FM. I am the live wire. Come line with me this Saturday on the street 919 FM.
If you could top up your car when you want, give me $5 in super. Your phone when you want.
Hello?
Don't call me back, my credit done in. Why you can't top up your TV when you want? Well, now you can with Direct TV Prepaid. Top up when you want and get the best in entertainment with a 15 or 30-day TV top-up. Don't hurt your head. Get all your favorite TV shows, movies, and more without having to bang your belly. Now you're really looking good with Direct TV Prepaid. Well, what you waiting on? Purchase your kit, install, and activate with WhatsApp or SMS at 390-3288.
Greetings and blessing in the name of our wonderful Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I'm Valentine Garcia.
And I'm Nikki Garcia. And we would like to invite you to listen to the Final Hour broadcast every Monday from 12 midnight to 5 in the morning on the street 919 FM radio.
Hear my mom, Pastor Helen Garcia, and myself, Pastor Valentine Garcia Jr., preach the word of God to the elderly, youth, and children. We can be contacted at 629-0113 or 623-8444.
Please be sure to tune in and prepare to be blessed.
As my life, I lay it on the altar. As my life.
Turn your lights down low and listen to the Master's radio.
The Church of the Firstborn Assembly Miracle Center of number 399 Eastern Main Road, Waiko in San Luis Grande is pleased to present Pastors Morris and Agnes Johnson and guests on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Sundays, Ministry of Worship Children's Hour and the Word from 1 to 6 p.m. Tuesdays, see Jesus in every book of the Bible from Genesis to Revelation from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Wednesdays, we deal with current affairs from a biblical perspective from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Tell your neighbors, tell your friends, tell everyone. For further information, visit with us at www.churchofthefirstbornassembly.org. Facebook, email us at church668hope@gmail.com or call us at 753-1113 or 236-7271. Your free will gifts and offerings will be greatly appreciated. Account number 795222 at the First Citizens Bank.
At Health and Wealth Lifestyle, we offer a wide range of services: blood analysis, iridology, acupuncture, foot detox, foot massages, gua sha, hot stone therapy, fire therapy, legs and feet massage therapy, mineral scrubs, acrotherapy, cupping.
We also have a wide variety of supplements, silver, zinc and magnesium, body light, and lots more.
We at Health and Wealth Lifestyle operate our business in a clean, safe, and comfortable environment. We frequently sanitize our compound and abide by all the COVID guidelines that are currently in place.
So come on down to Health and Wealth Lifestyle, where we treat you like family. Book your appointment today. Call us at 1-868-275-8359
or 1-868-288-1108.
And remember, your health is your wealth, and prevention is always better than medication.
Ikaro, I am Alatumishe Ifaba Mishe Aganki, better known as MC Duke, and every Monday between the hours of 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. I host a show called Orisha, The Way of Life, right here on the Sheet 919 FM, where I have guests passing through from the Orisha Ifa Baptist Diaspora to educate, edify, and inform you, the listening public, about Orisha Ifa practices. So remember to tune in every Monday between the hours of 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. for Orisha, The Way of Life.
Hey guys, it's Aisha Wells here. Listen up. If you're considering selling or renting your house in Trinidad and Tobago, then call Keelan George with O'Neill's Real Estate Group. He's a good friend of mine and he's been in the business for over 6 years. First, selling real estate in Atlanta, Georgia, and now right here in Trinidad and Tobago. He has a strategic online marketing presence that actually attracts thousands of home buyers and renters. Plus, with his home selling advice and techniques, he's getting homes sold really fast. Keelan will actually guarantee you sell your home, or get this, you can cancel the listing agreement and pay nothing at any time. That's right, you heard me, nothing at any time. Selling your home doesn't have to be stressful, people. Check out www.o'neillrealestatetT.com. O'Neill is spelled O-N-E-I-L, or just call Keelan direct at 363-4030. That's 363-4030.
Share the line. Share the line. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the line. Iwer George on Instagram. Share the line. Iwer TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the line. The Street 919 FM.
But right now, the country is under state of emergency. And at 2:30 p.m. today, the Prime Minister is having a press conference today at 2:30 p.m. So we're going to listen to that. We're going to go live to that today. For those of you who are on YouTube right now, for those of you locked on the internet, we are on YouTube right now. We are trying to put up the live stream on Facebook. Well, TC is trying to put up the live stream on Facebook. So if you are seeing me in the studio, TC is here still, but he's getting the live stream up and running on Facebook with the help of our good friend Pastor Google. Right, so people, we're going to go back to the phone lines on the topic. You can call us. The numbers to call are 342-0081. That's 342-0081. 771-1791. That's a WhatsApp number, right? You can call us on WhatsApp. Right, or 466-5391. That's 466-5391. So, people, let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to the phone lines. Let me see. Okay. Call us to come on the show live. So we had Tabukit on the line. Tabukit was saying that people should get 5,000 instead of the 1,500 or the 1,000. So Tabukit, if you want, you can call us back. Right? Now, we'll go to the lines. I have a call on the line. Hello, caller.
Easy and easy and
heavy.
Heavy. That like the topic, you know, but what you know what? Everybody in Trinidad and Tobago, I think a plane who they vote for, they have a councillor and an MP. You must know an MP and you must know a councillor. You vote for. I said to mine, me have a councillor, me have a MP. I live in Maruga. I don't have an MP, I don't have a councillor. So people who vote for they must have an MP and they must have a councillor. So in time of trouble, they could run to the councillor and run to the MP. Yes, I think that. You must have an MP and you must have a councillor. So when anything happens, you run to them and they can tell you no. Because the next time you want to vote for them. You say they're voting and voting. Yes, you must have an MP, you must have a councillor,
They
So when
can't
they
tell
come
you
up
no,
me,
you're
you
saying,
go to them. Hello? Hello?
Yes, darling.
Yes, you must have an MP. You must have a councillor. Don't tell me about MP where living. So where you have about 10 how many time come then? I mean, say there about that is no person have to run to in time I need. I don't always say that. I don't have an MP, I don't have a councillor. So me I know who I need to run to. When anything I don't have nothing, I just stay home. But who have MP, they're supposed to help them. And I want to hear the crying. You have nothing to eat, nothing to eat. So where live it for? Yes, I just say that. Yes, so you can come and tell me you hungry or where MP. Where councillor? They're supposed to help you in time I need. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
Hello.
Yeah, caller, go ahead.
Hi, good day, CC, Heavy, and this is a rainy weather. I like the two female contributors. Fact is, even if you raise it from 1,500 to 5,000, it's a 3-month lockdown. Money does finish. After the money done, you're still going to have to look for money. So it's about creativity, and it is about understanding the people around you and your circle of influence or whatever, and how best you can tap into the people around you to survive. I just want to reiterate, as one House of Representatives, even though it's UNC and PNM, figure it out, as one House of Representatives, as one government. The woman was right. We have aldermen, chairmen, MPs, and all these other stuff that you can reach out to, councillors, and ask for help. Other than that, yeah, your neighbor. In terms of how I live in right now, well, we have racism in this country. I was a little black boy from over. After I lost my work in the bank, because of whoever was watching me and saying I look like a criminal and I look this and I look that. I have, God bless me, with a wonderful, wonderful family whom you can try, all right? Yeah, that's my contribution. Thanks for taking my call.
All right, caller, no problem, brother. Thank you very much.
Yeah?
Caller.
Good afternoon to you, Heavy. And I see that you are on the church board. So I know that you will be other things. But we go bear with it because I know you're fresh on the church board and I am.
Yeah. You know, yes, fresh on the church board again.
But you are doing a very good job so far, yeah?
Yes, thank you.
You are doing a very good job so far with the church board. But Heavy, we like to make reference to America, right? Anything we do. But anytime we talk about, look, America giving this person money on this funding care. We say, no. America is a bigger country. They have more money than we. They can make money. But we like to make reference to America today from the 15th of June. Joe Biden launched a serious money bank to all the children and them in the country. They have a stipend they get of 3 something every single month for the next 6 months.
Wow.
A woman has 5 children, she gets all her children. She gets every single children and she check that children that month. She check how much money is that. She has 5 children in the house. That is a plan. That is a president who cares about his people. Look today, Heavy. People are scared in the market because they know what the Prime Minister is going to say today again. Every Thursday he coming from the midnight and let's post on the page. First come on, midnight. People getting scared. Because Heavy, we saying that we want to save life. But while we want to save life outside, we go inside and dead under hunger. That is our problem. Because every time today you fail the groceries, price sky high in all these bills to them. Taxi fare in this country are going up. I want to say it again. You nasty PNM. Taxi fare are going up in this country. All over, taxi stand is going up, raising the prices. When you go in the supermarket and the grocery, cheese expensive, milk expensive, sugar expensive. That is why the opposition call on VAT to remove on all food items in this country. Because you understand it. We put a government there to take care of it. This government happy that they can use because look, certain countries today declare don't wear mask, right? But Dr. Roden and paid gains in the last 2 months in this country. That is why we reach this stage. Why the government was stealing money? $18 billion. $18 billion or something. Here who get the money, yeah? The churches get it. Right? The big boys hotels. Right? The poor man never get paid for that $18 million. The church get it. I'm going to say it again. That $18 billion gone to the church, to Faris, Berlin, to Frankenstein wife, to Inward wife, and to Robbie wife. No, but that's the truth.
Kingsley.
Yes. Yes, I'm PNM MTC.
Yeah, Kingsley.
Yes, PNM TC. You reach it.
PNM TC.
Yes, PNM TC. You reach it.
Oh, Lord.
TC. Let me TC. Kingsley.
Yeah.
The 18 billion, where that money was from?
That was our savings. From our savings and others.
Our savings.
Yes,
savings. How much you put, Kingsley? How much you put?
18 billion. The 18 billion was from our savings.
Let me tell you this, TC. I work a government job if you don't know. Every fortnight I pay 3 different taxes.
Kingsley.
Look every talking.
Kingsley, don't buy that bait what TC giving it a sidetrack.
No,
listen now.
Yeah, but you have Kingsley coming here and talking of set of foolishness.
TC, you don't pay tax. You get tax free.
I don't pay tax.
I don't pay tax. The show was going good. The show was going real good.
Oh, go nah. Kingsley fucking stupidness.
Go ahead. Finish your contribution quick because I want to get back Tabakit on the line or let's sidetrack my whole show here today.
So I'm saying we cannot stay inside hungry. We are saying that the 25,000 hampers, it is not enough for 3 months. We are asking the government to remove VAT and taxes off of the food prices. We are also asking government to give the taximan some a little stipend that they could keep the price down. And because a person cannot walk from a Rima to Prospering with only 2 people in the car or in the maxi. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Kingsley. Oh, gosh. Kingsley get the opportunity.
No. I had other callers we didn't hear. I'm glad you wasn't here when the MSR callers was calling.
No, you
only came in when Kingsley called.
You give him his opportunity today
anyway,
to fly flag heavy. Fly a flag,
Take the calls. You want to hear from the people?
Kingsley talk nothing about
no, he started talking.
Nothing about survival.
He started talking about that.
Hello, good day.
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon to you both. Hello?
Yes, I'm
here. Yes, caller, go ahead.
Yes. Well, I ain't lying to tell you, Kingsley is it, yes? Honest to God. Kingsley is this. Kingsley, all I could tell you, Papa, you don't talk as you see, I gone.
Oh,
yes.
Lord. No contribution there. No contribution.
See if we have any
that and Kingsley contribution was the same.
See if we have any voice notes because...
Hi, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Every.
Yes, my brother.
It's really on that program. Let's see that trap. You know, like what people are told, you just put anything and then government rights for it.
Is that trap? Is that trap?
Out there.
So because I didn't want Kingsley to talk foolishness, is that trap? Yesterday, last week I get cost because I was at UNC. Last week I was at UNC, so I get cost. This week I was at PNM, so I get cost. You see? Wait.
I thought Trinidadian, eh? Trinidad and Tobago.
But I just to show you heavy. Last week somebody was cussing me because they say I was a UNC. This week somebody cussing me because I was a PNM. I was a Trinidadian. Good afternoon.
Afternoon. Just calling back. Kingsley reminded me of the other things I wanted to say.
Yeah.
One, I don't know if you all read the article of like what's happening in America right now, and they're saying it's because of the stimulus check. So all of the restaurant workers have left the industry, and apparently they're not going back. So all of the restaurants right now catching tail trying to get workers. And two, you kinda told a lie. I think the only reason Aisha was offended was because you were trying to take over her show. So I don't really necessarily think she had an issue with your point of view, and I think if you expressed it, how you expressed it on this show, it wouldn't have been, like an issue. Later.
All right, brother. Man, thanks. Now, what I'm saying to TC, right? And here I want to come back again. A lot of people believe, right, that what we are saying here is trying to come up with a solution for what could happen to people. And it's no longer about poor people, because middle class people could end up poor after this pandemic.
Yeah.
Right? You're talking about people that had small businesses. You're talking about people that used to bring in stuff and sell that can no longer sell. It had people that used to rent booths in malls, bringing in products to sell and have to close up shop. And these people were living well-to-do, okay.
Living okay, yeah.
They're sending their children to school, things that's going on because they had business. Now, when you invest $300,000, $400,000 in a business and the business crash, you are in a deeper hole than a person who was just selling pimentos on Charlotte Street. You understand? We're talking about whole malls closing down for months. You know, these malls and them had booths. People paying rent up to $30,000, $40,000 a month, selling their products, and now they cannot, and hiring staff too, and now they can no longer sell. So it's not about poor people alone, it's about people in general who have been suffering based on this pandemic and based on the lockdown and the curfew and the SOE. So I want people to understand, not because when I say poor people, it doesn't necessarily mean poor people who wasn't working or that. It's people all over, across the board, being affected.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hey, I'm going to see Mr. TC and Mr. Heavy.
Yeah, man.
Good day to you, sir, my brother.
No. Very good conversation on topic all the carrying on. Let me tell you something about divide and rule. Divide and rule is taking away our rights. You understand? No. It's the fault of everything, the cause of everything. You understand? Because when we give up our rights to the government, any government, you understand? This is what happens if our leaders is not corrupted and the rich ones and them is generous. You understand? This is what happened. But if the leaders and them is good and the rich ones and them is generous, I mean, we will live on top of the earth. Right now, we live under the earth. You know why? Because we have given up our rights. I ain't going to say we give up, but they have taken our rights. I just hear some people saying, we love the government and we love the government. Why? Why must we love the government? No, the position we in here now is because of how they manage our money in the past.
Correct.
You understand? If look at something. When the country had money, it still had vagrants and beggars on the road. Why? And we have money. If we see about all these things from jump starts coming up, you know, the vagrants and then the underprivileged and coming up, we will not be in this position today. Everybody could have rocked back on something. You understand? But these things happen because of our rights have been taken from us. They don't deal with the people and them for their opinion. What them say, they make laws, they do this, they do that. without we knowing, and when they don't make the decision, they come and tell you it's that they're doing. That is a very serious thing in any country. You understand?
That's correct.
People, we is who's supposed to be carrying on our affairs with the government so that they will know what is happening. You understand? Only we love the government. We love you all looking for handouts. That is the most stupidest thing I ever hear.
Thank you, caller. Thank you.
You understand?
I agree with you.
Over and over. You understand?
Yeah.
I don't like. We like they're more foolish than we. Why must we love the government? The government, the economy of a country is the welfare of the people.
Thank you.
And they're not seeing that. They see.
Nope.
That's why I tell you, divide and rule.
That's correct.
You understand? They're giving the government a chance to take away our rights. If we come together and stop this party politics thing, and we come together, our country will run better, you know.
That's right.
And people don't understand these things.
They don't.
It's so simple. So at the end of the day, is the fault, we the downfall, and the fault of what's happening now. All the COVID teaching all something. Come together.
Thank you, brother.
And let us get something in life. My friend, you all have a good day.
Yes, my brother. Love that contribution.
Talking with sense.
Talking with sense. That's the kind of callers I want to talk to.
Talking with sense.
Them is the callers I want to talk to.
Hi,
people who thinking.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, man.
When you talk about come together, you think these people like all African? Like they are war against Syria. Who like Syria? And so we have two tissues. What else we talk about?
I know, I wouldn't even entertain, I know. No, I wouldn't entertain, Heavy. Come on. Hi, good afternoon, welcome.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
It's amazing to me that the majority of people that are complaining about the people that are suffering presently are among the same people that are causing this issue to not end by continuing to do whatever we want. And we're not adhering to what is the safer practices. And then we will come and complain that, people, we suffering, but who is the ones going and party? Who is the ones gathering? Who is the ones trying to figure that, we will gather in the road, and when we see a police vehicle, we run and separate, like if that wouldn't cause anybody to get sick. We are the same poor people that doing that same foolishness, that causing our own families to get sick, that this thing is not dying out. So we end up having to remain in the same position. I am fed up having to wear a mask. Honestly, I am fed up because I just suffer with asthma. And it's not ending because people just say, a man called on the TV the other day and said, boy, I really believe now with our COVID. After a year and something, you now believe because your friend dead. And the people who it is causing the problem are the ones that complaining the most, and I just cannot understand this. Can't we just, the man talk about getting together, but can we just start to use a little common sense and do the right thing? They say use a mask, but no goodness, the mask doesn't protect you if it's on your head or on your nose. And you all have a nice day.
Thank you so much, caller.
I just want to say something before I take the next call.
Go ahead.
All right? Now, TC is almost, it's a year now since we had COVID-19 in the world. Well, more than a year. A little more than a year. So, I want to talk about Trinidad. Right? After the first lockdown in Trinidad and Tobago, right? That was in March of last year, or March or April of last year. Right? From April of last year, we had April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. January, we didn't have no carnival. February, we didn't have no carnival. So all those months there, TC, right? Our numbers were so low, we were rated #1 in the world.
Right.
Right?
And they were giving all perks to the Prime Minister.
Good. The borders were locked down. Right? And after January, February, even though it didn't have no carnival, people were still keeping the little private party and juve and all kind of thing. They were starting to send back children to school. Our stipulations of wearing masks and things came a little more relaxed. People started back to going out to work and things were looking. It was coming back to pretty much like normal, right? Although we still was sanitizing everywhere you go and we still had to wear masks and things, right? So we had January, February, March, April, May. No, April, sorry. January, February, March, April. Between March of last year to March of this year, our numbers didn't really go up.
Right.
So, how did we reach here now? Where we having 300 and how much people a day, numbers going up and how much deaths? Right? It cannot be that for all the months the numbers wasn't going up.
For all those months, people was so
and people
adhering, and then now.
And now all of a sudden we're not adhering.
It's not adhering. I don't believe
it cannot baffling to me. So this is why I can't buy that story that it's we to blame. If you understand where I'm coming from, if the borders were closed, right, we can't go nowhere to get it. The people who was here, right? Nobody going away. Well, I don't know if they're bringing more people. Though we know the back door was open. Right?
And
but however,
I still cannot.
It still cannot because we have no proof that Venezuelans bring it.
Yeah.
Good.
After listening to the speech by this very intelligent young lady, she said, "Give us the statistics and then blame us," and she's right.
Right. So how after 9 months of we, and I've been honest with you, we were more relaxed from last year to then to now. Over Christmas, people was going by people and drinking and liming.
Yeah.
Right? How come the numbers didn't go up? For Carnival, when they had no Carnival, people were still keeping the private parties and private things. Police shutting down Juve all over the place. How come the numbers didn't go up?
I really thought the numbers would have gone up.
Yeah. So, this, we now coming to say,
blame the people, blame
the people. As we cause it, as we that the sin, and as we mass, and that why going up, and that why we taking it down. It kind of common sense in adding up to this right now.
Yeah.
It ain't adding up. Something in the motor besides the person, and I'm not seeing it.
Let's find out from Trinidad. Let's find out. Hi, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What I want to ask Heavy, right?
Yes.
If God forbid, right, and Parliament dissolves because the COVID take over, who we will watch at? We can't watch at Kamala. We can't watch at Rory. My children, when they hear about this pandemic, they went and they buy fish, tilapia, mining, thousands. You understand? See what neighbor hungry they could get. The solution we have to look for, nothing else.
Thank you so much, darling.
At least you're trying to have money to buy tilapia to mine. And
Hi,
that place to put it.
welcome.
You want to know how it went up, gentlemen?
Tell us.
You see, when we started to allow what was called self-quarantine, I am telling you what I saw. A young boy came out. I stopped off to buy vegetables. And the fella said, but hey, and your family come back and they're supposed to lock down and two of them have COVID. He said, yeah, but I know the fella talking here no mask, ne? Yeah, but I there, my God. So he in the same house with people that's supposed to be under quarantine, and he's out in the road by a vegetable stall without a mask. And you see, because of how we are, people who were supposed to be in self-quarantine who came back into the country, being sick, one member sick, and everybody feel, well, not dying will affect me, I in the house, but somehow that person can't give me it. And then they went out. And then the same people who were supposed to be in quarantine, them went out online. They went out to the grocery. They went out all over the place. And part them be there, hey, long time no see, hey, bounce and touch and hand. And we're not wearing masks. It's simple, you know.
So the people that came in that get exemption to come in and supposed to self-quarantine didn't.
But you think? No, much of them was not. I'm telling you what I know personally.
Okay,
You know, much of them did not.
And then now, go ahead, caller.
You see what happened? The way how this thing is spread, 1 does infect 5, and then 5 does infect 25.
Mm-hmm.
And it keeps multiplying like a nuclear fusion. Is how this, when I started seeing this since the beginning of last month. Since the beginning of last month, and before that, I said by the end of May, we might start to look at $2,400 patients per day. Since the beginning of last month, when I saw what was going on and I heard what was going on, and I sad to say that I was right.
All right, caller, thanks so much.
Thank you, caller. You make a good analogy there.
Yeah, and heavy is not just the people who coming in, huh? Let me tell you this, as he brought up that it's not just the people who coming in and supposed to self-quarantine when they reach back here. There's people that is going and being tested. And being tested positive.
Mm-hmm.
Right? For COVID. And because they don't have to be quarantined at hospital because you don't need the respirator and the this and the that.
Yes.
Send you home.
Yeah.
And they would hope that you're responsible enough
to stay
go home and
quarantine.
stay inside. Right?
Right.
But some of the people are not doing that. One, and then some of the people, when you get back home, you live in arrangements.
Oh.
You're living in a house where
it's a big family.
It's a big family.
Yeah, yeah. So you don't have a room
you don't have a room for yourself.
To quarantine.
To quarantine yourself.
But
right? But so all of this it could be adding to the issue as well.
So why people shoot down Lovely House? Because Lovely House called in the week, right? And said why the government and take the people and them who they send them home to self-quarantine, take them and put them in a school or in a center to quarantine there instead of sending them back home amongst people.
Feed them under there.
Because somebody to feed them under there?
Feed them the security, the amount of resources that you would have to put out behind
to self-quarantine to
people in as you say in school and in this and in that.
Well, you get find a facility to put them into quarantine them.
Right, then you'll have to get cooks to cook for them.
You gotta get security, like police or army to make sure they leave.
To make sure they can leave and walk out and go anywhere. You'll have to get
beds and things for them.
Entertainment, beds and all these sort of things, right? Something. You have to get something to keep them occupied. No, I'm not saying that it's not possible and it cannot be done. I think it could be done. But the way how they look at it is
send them home.
They have a budget to that.
So better just send them home.
Send them home and hope that they do.
But then that not working. I don't understand dealing with a population.
It is not.
Who they spend $3,000, $4,000 to walk the streets with a panty on and wind down low every year.
It is not.
They don't care.
Yeah,
they don't. You know, Trinidadians is a people that they're very, very. How to put it? We like freedom.
We fluctuated with phone calls. So
let me take some calls here. Let's go.
The phone line going crazy. Hi, good afternoon. Welcome. Hello? Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Yes, good afternoon.
I will say to you two guys, our party and culture has nothing to do with our culture and where we are today. Because if that was the case, we would not have been rated #1. Because the Prime Minister didn't go to anybody's house to wash their hands. The Prime Minister wasn't a security by my house to tell me don't come outside. The citizens did the right thing. That is why we were rated #1, not the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister was rated #1. The government was rated #1 for the measures that they implemented. But who has to care about the measures? The citizens. You and I did the right thing in the initial stages, gentlemen.
Okay, so where did we drop the ball?
So let me get to where we went wrong.
Yeah, we went wrong. Yeah.
You know where we went wrong? Because of the rhetoric that was being spread, the propaganda that was being spread. Hear what they tell me. I don't take it. You have a man who's a parliamentarian telling us don't take the vaccine, don't take the Chinese one. But he went and take his own, right? He went and take his own, and he have a group of people telling you that here we're going on. There's all kind of thing. A man come with a theory about 5G. I had to tell him Huawei lost their 5G in America and all around the world. So that chip you're talking about, that out of the window. So that conspiracy theory is dead. If we are not doing the right thing heavy, look, I have a partner. I do truck business. I have a partner that does deliveries. And he going around to deliver. and he got the virus. Unknowingly, and he went home. 7 of them living in the house. You know what I'm saying to you? 7 people, mommy, daddy, sister, and children living in the house. 1 man, mommy died first. He is grasping for his life. What about the people where he make the delivery for? Or who he get it from? By the supermarket or the dry goods store? You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm thinking about it that morning. That was the first place he went. And he had 5 other stops during that day. And interact with 5 different people. So besides the 7 people in his house, how much other people did he give as 1 man? Are we to blame the government for that? Government is not responsible.
Nobody's blaming the government. People, we are just asking the question. Where did we go wrong from since last year, from being number 1 to down?
The government went wrong. Is the citizens went wrong. Because there is a group of people with their narrative that they say, here what they tell me, this year since Carnival. You remember that drama? That was one of the arguments. This year since Carnival, and my argument, if it was here since Carnival, we'd have been done where we is today since that time to now. Yeah, the next argument. The Prime Minister said 50,000 people to go to Tobago. By now, Tobago would have been decimated. By now, we'd have been moving Trinidadians from Trinidad. Yeah, we're going to we'd have used Tobago for the island to quarantine them. That logic can't make sense. Heavy. It's up to us, the individual. Yeah, what's going on? I buy a bottle of sanitizer. I live in an apartment complex. When I go into open my gate, I spread on my lock and my chain. Because I don't know who the man downstairs went and meet. And who, when he come to open the gate, what he come with. That is our problem. We're getting a taxi with air condition. Maxi taxi still driving up and down the bus route with air condition. Come on. You can't blame the government. Because the government don't get sick, the Prime Minister get sick, and hear what the Prime Minister said to us. That ambulance staying by 24/7. He said this is making sense. He said because this ambulance could go and help somebody else. And he tell the ambulance man to go and do something else. That a problem with that. Well, up to us. The narrative that is being pushed is what have us where we is here. This ain't real. Me, I have a man going to church across by me and telling me he ain't go get it. Right. And when he do get it, too much members in the church get it. We have to start a lockdown. The Prime Minister said, don't leave your house. And if you go out the road now, people still driving around going way. No way. Go in the supermarket, it's full. There are people going to the supermarket every day. We have to, in Australia, if you're going out the road, you're telling the police you're going to the pharmacy, you have a list. How are you going for any pharmacy? Otherwise, a policeman send you home.
Right, caller, we have a lot of calls on the line. So. Yeah, man.
Hi, brother, thanks.
Thanks, but he brought across some very strong points there. I have to side with him. He brought across some very, very strong points, you understand? Some of the things that is selling is just up in air, all over the place, you know? So we have to
I want to tell every listeners on 2:30 the Prime Minister is going to be speaking in a press conference.
That's true.
That's true.
Well, never say that. Well, I don't know what they'll call me now. That's true. He always late. Hi, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Heavy.
Good afternoon, caller.
And my brethren on the inside there, man. Arima Part 1. Hey, look, I want to add to the last caller, who I think is correct, like first class. We bring in a venue, come to rent, or any tenant come to rent. Somebody come to rent your place. They rent 2 people, husband and wife. When you pass back the next 6 months, it's 8 of them living there. They come from Venezuela, wherever they come from. 1 come to rent, 1 renting. 2 months after, it's 5 of them living there. Once we get we rent, we don't meddle, boy. Once we get we rent, we don't meddle. How could we blame the Prime Minister for that? It's only now I observing people wearing their masks. Before the Prime Minister locked down the country, his second time, but people was wearing shin masks, boy.
Yeah.
It's shin masks people was wearing. Nobody knows and things covering at all, boy, and the mouth. We just doing what we want. The Prime Minister tell us to go to Tobago. Well, I don't know if everything the Prime Minister tell us to do, we do that. Well, PNM should win all the 36 seats. Nobody else should get a seat.
Well, caller,
I want to blame the government.
I want to ask you a question, caller.
Tell me.
Will you be able to hold up for the 3 months financially with groceries and stuff? Will you be able to?
Right now, I am scraping, my brother. Let me tell you something. I can't even take care of my car, maintain my car.
Yeah, boy. Yeah,
and I doing taxi, all right?
Yeah.
But you see, what has consoled me is that I feel somebody suffering more than me.
Go back, Keshi. You're not in the shot.
I feel like somebody suffering more than me.
Yeah, somebody
It's
suffering.
challenging all over the world. This is not something caused by Rowdy or Kamala, you know. This is something that is happening all over the world. This is why I could go in my backyard now. And I am not boasting. I could pick up fever grass, a tomato, a pimento, a celery. You understand?
Yeah.
I could pick up sweet pepper. I could pick up cut a hand of fig. I could cut a plantain. This is things that the government have been telling us all the time. I blame the radio talk show hosts, some of you talk show hosts, the kind of music you all have been playing over the months, the kind of topic we have been discussing. And when I came in on the airwave and I said, boy, we should be encouraging people to do like what Sparrow said, dig the soil and cultivate the land. Not Sparrow, no, I think it's this man who sing that song. Yeah, but you know, we have nice nation building songs. This is why I blame the talk shows. Some of the topics they hold in this pandemic time, but we ought to empower people, encourage people, inculcate people. Let's tell them about. You have a few grass plants in your yard, right? You plant dashing bush. I plant okra. We can make halal.
Caller, all right. Caller, all right, thanks so much.
Thanks so much, caller.
We have a lot of calls. We want to take as much calls as possible. Hi, good afternoon, welcome.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I would want to blame, I have a few pointers why the COVID increases. That's my view, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would want to blame the UNC and the COP representatives with the candlelight vigil that started in February and March across Trinidad. When I checked, it was more than 10 of these forums all over. Then I want to blame the Trinidad and Tobago citizens for facilitating the Venezuelan when they enter illegally, in terms of you're housing them, you're transporting them, what all this for money, all right? So they are all, okay. The next one, next point is citizens for seeing wrongdoing and doing nothing about it. I mean, if you have a home there with a lot of Venezuelans, one or two, and you're seeing a lot, you need to call. You know, if you're seeing they coming on illegally, make some calls and call the police or somebody to know that a vessel now come in. So they're seeing and not doing anything. Persons in home quarantine, because what is happening, I've looked at the statistics, it's over 4,000 people in home self-quarantine. All right, and these people, who is monitoring them? They are coming and they are going here, they're all about. And the people are going back to family, over 4,000. All right, if these people were somewhere secluded, then it might have been a difference, but they're all over, right? And then I'm looking at the health system, because people are being tested. They are tested, but then they're home for 7 days, and then they're supposed to get the result to know what's going on. But the system is not giving them their results fast enough. So some of them after 7 days and they're here, they're gone, and who knows, they have it. All right. What I would they are waiting their results. I would submit by calling. I would sum it up by calling on people that we need to ask God for forgiveness, forgive us, forgive other people, and start turning to God. Put our focus on God. Man can't help us now. We reach a stage where in our own home we have to be asking God to protect us wherever we go. And you're not asking for yourself, you're asking God to protect your neighbor and everybody around. And again, they're talking about, we have the MPs. If you have problems with the money, they are supposed to know, the councillor. We need to reach out to them and let them know our distress. So we're counting too much on government. We need to start living life depending on God and not government. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, caller.
I want to let people know, right? Stop trying to defend the government. We have to depend on the government because the government is there to manage our affairs. not theirs. The money the treasury is not the government own. It's ours. Get that out of their head. It's not their own to do as they whims and fancy and as they please. It's ours. It's our tax-paying dollars. So we have a say on how we could say, well, all right, we could make a contribution and say we wanted to do this, we wanted to do that. You understand? They are there to manage. You vote for government to manage. Don't say, I doesn't like the people that say don't depend on the government. You have to depend on them, because if a road mash up, you can't go and pave it. You can't get Baba Green, you can't get the paver, you can't get a backhoe. The government that is about affair, lights, electricity, the water, our government is there to take care of the people, you know. Not themselves and not their friends and family. So when they're calling and saying, don't depend on the government, they're looking for a handout. No, it's not that. You can't ask for a handout for what is yours. Constitutionally, that it is yours. How you can get a handout for what is yours?
No,
but a constitutional, in the Constitution, it is there for the people. It's the people's money. The money Heritage and Stabilization Fund is yours, you know. The money in the government is yours. They just have to distribute and say, well, all right, health getting that, utilities getting that, road and transport getting that, education getting that.
I think it's supposed to have something that goes like, and don't tell me Ministry of Social Development. Let's scrap that. Yeah. Poor people getting that.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, because we will hear a budget. The budget will be how much $1 billion every year, and still you don't see nothing really there for
TC. Quite frankly, let me ask you a question. Right? Right now, you see that glue or that myth they want to tell me that Trinidadians lazy and don't want to work? When I see young men selling bottled water all over the country, wiping people window by every traffic light. Long time you used to see a certain people doing that. Now everybody coming out and look fake. You could tell me that people don't want to work?
I saw some youths going up Chumakak by me. In about 3 days they erect a little wooden shed. In about 3 days, right. 2 days time, they erect this little wooden shed. And yesterday, day before when I passed in, the shed had fruits.
Yeah.
And then just sit down below the shed there now.
They're coming out.
Them out in the road, in the sun. I tell you, while I pass in, they have banana in one hand, pineapples in the next hand.
Yeah.
They have next one with bottled water. And they hustling, they trying to make another right there on the hill right there.
Every time I go along the bridge, you see them fellas and them who's be wrong by the right as they're going to be for me by social station.
Yeah.
They're selling Amarol and all kind of thing now.
Yeah.
WD-40. Because you can't tell me
no, I don't have that.
We're looking for no handout again.
I think the numbers of lazy people is in a
it's in a few. It's in a very low. So don't tell me that Lou that we lazy and we don't want looking for nothing and thing, you know. What I am saying is that we need more help, right? Don't tell me that the government is not there to help me because they're collecting the salary still. They're not taking a cut. They're getting the perks. They're getting this. I'm not hearing them saying that we put up some money and help some people, donate it or something. Let we get 400 hampers. Let we put money together and do 200 more.
Nah. I still speaking about the entertainment allowance, the travel allowance, the food allowance, the disallowance that continuously dig out of the government purse, knowing that we under some struggles right now.
I am saying
let's collect your pay alone, collect your
salary alone, yeah.
Collect your pay and say, listen, it ain't no entertainment.
It ain't no transport, we have to go the way.
Yeah, I'll show you that I am part of this.
Part of this as well.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about the government alone. So when I say government, I mean both opposition and the ruling party, you know. Don't the senators and all.
We have 10 seconds, Heavy.
Yeah, we're going to be back because we have to wait and we have to do the half an hour until the right, so we're going to be back.
Ladies, fuck your cool, you baby girl, so your heart.
Only independent ladies, 100 behind this, wear this.
For a very strange reason, Baby, you're so underrated. Strike it up. Hey, girl, yeah. Cause there's no one other than you at all. There is no one could ever call you a friend. Because you're hotter than them. You are the best overall. You're hotter than them. One time. Uptown, don't stink anyway. We're ready to go back on the road and say hands to the air. Because we uptown, don't stink anyway. Hey. 1, 2, 3. Hey, say you wanna wine, say you wanna move with the crew, say you wanna drink everything that's fine. Girl, bust another wine. Hey, so when we move with the crew, no one drink, we go 2 by 2. Pass one sack for the well, I say you well get through. We're bet. Cause I wanna feel the feeling this I say who can wait to go on a costume again? 1, 2. Uptown, don't speak anyway. Speak every day. Spend money day, it's a violent. I say every day, so we uptown, don't speak anyway. And if you love soccer, we say 1, 2, 3. Oh, let we do this thing the right way. And let we pick up the vibes in here.
Patrice again.
Lyrical, girl, still my heart like a criminal. Okay. Somebody make me up to
You roll up on me like you blow up a girl.
Social distance, what? Social distance
like a criminal.
Hey, no girl, I come here alone. I ain't breaking no code. Stop the ball, right now. Girl, when you feel like I can make you feel nice, and we could jump all night. Like your head nice. Run to the back.
So high, take it on and go in the floor.
Let's see the wine, let's see. Hey, girl, run the shot, bend your back and one. Come for that, give me that one. Give me that, girl. Give me. Hey, girl, you look so much. Baby, that's a nice. Give me that one. Let them help me sing. I go deeper, wine like a criminal. No resistance, shot. Don't kill on man, wine like a criminal. Stick it up and criminal. No. Help me see. If you wine on, you cannot tell nobody. This is between you and me. Keep the vibes that you bring in. Bring it away.
Keep the bumper rocking on me.
Everybody give it up for Patrice Roberts, please.
Somebody make some noise.
This Sunday at 10 a.m. on May 23rd, join the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley, for a National Day of Prayer, a day for reflection, a day for faith and unity. Tune into the live broadcast on all major television and radio networks. Let us unite with purpose and resolve on Sunday, May 23rd at 10 a.m. for the National Day of Prayer. And let us pray with hope for our nation and for our people.
Smile, beauty in every aisle to take care of your body. We have all you need to stay healthy. Yeah, more to love. Yes, it's true. Pennywise, just for you.
Pennywise gives you more to love.
Hello?
Hey, Nikki, you busy?
Busy watching TV.
Oh, so you're home then?
I never said I home.
But you're not watching TV?
Yes, I'm watching Direct TV's TV online from a tablet. Watch it anywhere, anytime, from any device. And right now, I'm watching you in the gym. Yes, looking real good. Watch TV anywhere on any device with Direct TV's TV online. With Direct TV, you're looking good with the best in entertainment. Call 877-4388 to sign up for postpaid today.
Hello, Trinidad and Tobago. 2 Chronicles 7:14 said, if my people who are called by my name, if we would humble ourselves and pray and seek my face, turn from their wicked ways, then I'm going to hear from heaven, forgive their sins and heal the land. Trinidad and Tobago needs healing. Join Pastor Morris Johnson and a host of powerful leaders from across Trinidad and Tobago. Bishop Gadaram Singh, Pastor Alain from Tobago, Pastor Ken Jacobs, Pastor Lyndon, Pastor Cheryl and Mario Culpepper, Dr. Wayne Hayward, Apostle, and many, many more from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. right here on 91.9 FM The Street. If my people join with us from 1 to 5 p.m. on Sunday the 23rd as we stand in the gap and pray for our nation and our people, and God will intervene and heal the land. See you then.
Lord, heal our land. Father, heal our land.
The Gospel of the Kingdom radio program with Gilbert James is now on the Street 919 FM every second, third, and fourth Thursday from 8 to 9 p.m. and every first and third Sunday from 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. Monday. The Bible says, the gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world as a witness to all nations, and then the end shall come. For more info, call 652-0924 or 298-4540 and join us every second, third, and fourth Thursday from 8 to 9 p.m. and every first and third Sunday from 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. Monday for the Gospel of the Kingdom radio program with Gilbert James.
Hi there, I'm Lester Sublal, inviting you to join me on the first, second, and third Saturday, 8:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. for the program Slow Gospel Music, and on the fourth and fifth Saturday from 8:30 p.m. for an extended version of Slow Gospel Music on Street 91.9 FM.
The Gap Man Limited specializes in products that cater to all your health needs. The Male Enhancement Package targets the areas of the body that contribute to erectile dysfunction. The Male Enhancement costs $1,400. The Gap pills are priced at 250 pills for $500 and 500 pills for just $900. For the best in eye care, get the super combination of a Super Bright and the Body Healer. To improve the heart's function and circulation, get the Gap pills and Formula C. To get a total body cleanse daily, use the Gap Body Healer and Big C, all for a super low price of $1,300. To order your products from the Gap Man Limited, call 628-4531 for products that cater to all your health needs.
For more info, contact 476-7268.
Hi, what's up, TNT? This is Wayne Johnson out of Brooklyn, New York. I always wanted to do something back home, and we're going to be doing our gospel segment on Mondays from 10 p.m. to 12 midnight. That's 10 p.m. to 12 midnight on 91.9 FM. Listen what I want you to do. Spread the word. Spread the word, TNT.
Salvation, full and free. Salvation is for everybody.
Mondays from 10 p.m. to 12 midnight. That's 10 p.m. to 12 midnight on 91.9 FM.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iwer George on Instagram. Share the live. Iwer TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Well, Heavy, we are back. News conference supposed to be at 2:30 p.m. by the Honorable Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Rowley. And we continue to take your phone calls in this hour. Every way you want to do?
Yep, let's take some calls.
Take some calls. All right. Hi, good afternoon. Welcome.
Hey, guys. Good afternoon again.
Yes, good afternoon. Good
afternoon. All right, buddies. Truth be told, right? Now, I'm going to put it this way. You ever notice when gas raised in America, what is happening?
Yeah.
They don't buy it.
They don't buy
just
it.
protest.
Yeah.
Right? And they just get results.
Yep.
When ghost trees raised in the
supermarket,
raised abroad, right? In the supermarket, they just protest. They just get results.
Yep.
Right? But we as Trinidadians and Tobagonians, you want to know why we would not get results? Because you know why? We are too divided.
That's correct.
A lot of times I hear people call and say, you know, we can't blame the government. We can't this, we can't that. Guess what? If we don't elect government officials, they don't have a job.
Correct.
We are the ones, we are the people who put them there. But you know where we fail as a people? We don't demand answers. We don't demand things. The only time we demand stuff is when water more than flour, and it's just by a stupid, if I might use such a word, right? Just by a stupid demonstration with old tires and this and that in the center of the road, and we got a little pitch, and that's it.
And that's
we
it.
are too divided as a people. That is why we are in this state, right?
Correct.
I would even draw reference to where people say that, okay, yes, I agree. But here what? We also have part to play in the pandemic that we are facing, not just the government. You know why? Because we have these guys and them called, on each parlor, each corner, called chin masters. By reason why I call them chin masters, there is wear the mask under the chin, not on the nose and the mouth. Right? A mask was designed to wear over your face, cover your nostrils and your mouth. But only until we decide to stand up as a people, then we would get results. The reason why the supermarkets could raise the price and everything is because we don't buy.
Yeah.
We don't stand up and say we're not buying. We're always going and buying.
Yeah.
Right? It's only when we stand up, then we will get results. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I was just saying it's the gospel truth.
Yeah. For real.
You know, right? You call us on the line?
Yeah.
Take a nice call.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome.
And I want to thank Oli for the last 15 minutes before we went to the TCU and Heavy. Very good contribution for the make. And I like when I call in our program, it's hard to get you. And right now, I've been calling and so I'm doing the program as a very healthy program. I want to say this. There are some people in my community reach out to me for help. And when I tell them, I say, no, I'm a UNC today. I'm not appealing them again. But I decided to do what others do. I call the office, the MP office, and the councillor, and Mr. Skip Scotland and the councillor get back onto me. And they give me the word that they're going to help the people and them in the community to reach out to me. So I want to put my foot in the mouth and thank them from the van. Because
what?
Yeah.
I want to congratulate you for that move.
Yeah. No, because it's me. And at the day, I want to, yeah. But you see, poor people, you see, and when I say poor, I mean the poor. You know what I mean? I mean the dying, you know. But look at I'm a working person and I studied more. Yeah, understand?
Yeah.
So, I let me go because I want to say this before I go.
Right,
This program here, wait, you see, this program here is very healthy. As an experienced caller, as the king of the areas, I've been ringing down this program to get in. This program whole day and in getting the variety of a different point of view. This program having callers who've been paying them all week, being independent day. And that's what I love the program for. You change people who was paying them all week on these paying programs. When they come here now, the Song Independent. So I want to thank them for Song Independent on our independent program.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. One of the best contributions that TC making a while, eh?
TC make.
I mean Kingsley. Sorry.
Call me Kingsley.
Sorry.
Do not
Kingsley.
call me Kingsley.
No. You see, I just think I don't like to encourage. I don't like to encourage you tit for tat back and forth. You and CP and them talk. I don't on that.
He made a very valuable.
I will call my show the Unity Show. No? The Unity Show. Let's come together and make things right. Let's go.
Hi, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Baba TC and Baba Heavy again, Tabakit here.
Yes, Tabakit.
Yes, Tabakit.
Let me add this. Everybody blaming the Venezuelan. But you know what's the big question I want to ask? How much Venezuelan died so far? How much Venezuelan is in the hospital? And this is the big question. I haven't heard of one Venezuelan died from this virus. Somebody hiding something that I don't know.
Yeah,
and Heavy and TC, if you all could respond to this, because you continue to hear the Venezuelan is responsible. But in all the deaths, I am not hearing of one Venezuelan.
To be fair, right? They're not telling you who died, eh? To be fair, they're just giving you the numbers. They're not telling you whether it's Venezuelan, if it's Trinidadians, if it's Tobagonians, if it's Indian, African, who died. They're not giving you the person who died. They're just giving you numbers. So, to be fair, no, we may not hear, we may know somebody who died, but we may not know any Venezuelan. To be fair, we don't know who died. Because we're not giving you the numbers, we're not giving you the statistics of what type of people, how much people died, where they're from, and all these things. Right? So
okay, let's go there for 1 minute.
Okay.
You understand how Trinidad function. You understand how information does be leaked or TikTok, WhatsApp, Facebook.
Yeah. Right.
And trust me, the way how people want information out there and they're thirsty for information, especially with this Venezuelan, that would have been out there.
They would have been out there already on social media itself. Yeah.
I'm telling you, they would have tell you, look, a Venezuelan passed on.
Yeah.
And to this day, I haven't heard of one. So this is my big question here. It's mind-boggling. Anybody could come with that information. Tabakit is waiting with bated breath.
All right. Thank you, Tabakit.
And that's the question, remember?
Yeah, you tell me that. You spoke about that. You remember no Venezuelans dying?
Okay, they must be able to give us some sort of statistics on the amount of Venezuelan as to how much Trinidadians. That is not personal information. Okay, we have in quarantine 3,000 people. We have 1,700 Trinidadians. Right?
And how much? Yeah.
And 1,300 Venezuelans.
Non-nationals, yeah.
Non-nationals.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
But we're not getting, nothing at all.
Caller?
Hi, good afternoon.
Yes, my brother.
Yes, brother.
Yeah. I look at a couple. No, you're talking about the spread of this thing, of this virus. You see, listening, understanding, and obedience is the most important thing. You understand? And that is bringing discipline and order within the people. People not listening, so they wouldn't understand. You understand? And they wouldn't be obedient to the protocol of this virus. You understand? You see, different governments around the world, everybody's saying a different thing about this virus. So it has people on their mind scatter. And plus, even in Trinidad, people still talking different thing about this virus. So people saying it's not real, it's real, so we not listen to understand and listen to the cause of truth, my brother. And you see the vaccine, what is the difference between a vaccine and an ordinary injection? Is this what they're giving us is an ordinary injection or a vaccine? What is a vaccine? You understand? Because if you can't find the cure for this virus, because they say it's only changing in different sickness, and you treat your diarrhea and no one, this and that. and they cannot find the cure because a vaccine is going to find the cure for a virus. So what are they giving us? An injection or a vaccine?
Actually, a vaccine is not the cure, eh?
Yeah, vaccine is not a cure.
If you understand what I mean, it is guard you. It is guard whatever the virus attacking.
Okay, good.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So, and still, this what it's giving you. It's a guarding of the virus attacking because that virus is changing itself all the time because it's different ways, different symptoms to get in. Just when we about a different symptoms to get in with this, so how they curb it yet. So if what are giving us? An injection or a vaccine? My friend have a go there.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And the vaccine is a different whole story again, TC. But I don't want to go down that vaccine road. Guys, you see that Pandora's box right now? I don't want to go down there. It will be irresponsible of me as a talk show host on national radio to talk about the vaccine Pandora's box right now. I'll leave that alone. Let's use on the lines.
Let's see who's on the line. Your partner on the line.
Hello?
Hey guys. Me again.
Yes, brother.
What's going on? As you guys rightfully said, right? This is my view. You know what I believe? I believe that here what we don't know how many persons are dying from COVID, and we are actually mixing persons who died from a normal death with that death and calling it corona.
You was not the first person I heard say that. Apparently, like every time you die now in the hospital, they're saying it's coronavirus.
It's corona.
Well, somebody was telling me that, but I said I don't have that information, so I can't. It'll be irresponsible of me to come and say that on here.
I agree. It's the same thing with me, and that is why we need more. How to put it?
More
proof.
More proof.
Evidence.
Yeah. More evidence.
Right. More evidence stating that these are the numbers that we have. These are the numbers of persons who died from COVID. And the thing about it is, the only how we're going to know somebody died from COVID, right, is by virtue of an autopsy or whatever. And since then,
no autopsy.
We hear nothing about no autopsies, nothing.
And then
we hear doctors just go ahead.
And then if somebody died from COVID, they're not giving you the body, eh? They're not giving the family the body.
Exactly.
No, they are.
Now they are.
Now
they're giving it. Now they're giving it.
They're giving the body. You cannot accept the body. There is certain funeral home that could facilitate the body. Yeah, so they give the funeral home the body because there are some funeral homes like Wasi. His funeral is going to be done at Klakan Batu, right? They could facilitate the COVID body.
The thing about it is, exactly.
Go ahead.
The thing about it is, I lost a friend, right? Now, I wouldn't call his name, right? I lost a friend, right? And they said that he died from COVID. The parents wanted to pay privately, right, to get an autopsy done.
No, you cannot do that.
Right? And they cannot do it. Now, this is the thing. The government need to crack down on this because they could actually, I'm not saying that they're not working again, but there are certain loopholes that they're not exploring, certain loopholes that they're not closing, and they could actually send people on a rampage.
Caller, you know that not doing an autopsy on a COVID person that died or COVID corpse is a WHO mandate.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Of course you will.
You cannot do that.
You know that is a WHO mandate that you cannot do an autopsy on a COVID body. But two countries did it, which was I think was Russia, China, and some other country did it.
I call her thanks, you listen up.
I call her thank you very much.
Yeah. Heavy. There are certain things that you must be able to if you're accepting the body. One, it must be the funeral home must be, as I said, outfitted
with the proper facility
to keep the body. One, and then they must have cremation as
so the body must burn.
It must cremate the body.
Okay.
You understand? So it starts at 20,000.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. So as I said, there are certain things that in not any funeral home. So if your partner have a funeral home and he could help you out a bit with your funeral arrangement,
with the funeral arrangements, yeah.
No, it cannot be done like that if he don't have the right PPE to go and collect the body.
Right.
One, because you have to
have a full PPE kit, yeah.
Right, and then if you do have the facilities at your funeral home, they're not gonna allow you to they're not gonna release the
body to you.
Body to that funeral.
Okay.
You understand? So
wow.
I said, yeah.
So let's see who's on the lines. We like the conversation today.
Hi, good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon, Heavy and people.
Yes, brother.
I have a concern that I would like to share with you guys. You will be able to do some work with it and create some kind of result. Because when this COVID thing started and they started to look for this vaccine and all of that, I started to remember things like herpes and AIDS and all these other diseases that passed through the world over a certain period of time. And suddenly, they just disappear without a cure.
Well, they are still here. It's just not prevalent as before. They are still here. There's other diseases that is killing more than COVID at the moment. But we
right, but I understand that. You know.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Is that these things just drop off the map just like that.
Yeah.
There ain't nothing at all about it. And up comes COVID. And start to have people bazodi, you know, for want of a better word, mashing up economies and, you know, all different type of things. So I thought I just share it with you guys and with your listeners. And, you know.
Thank you so much for your call, caller.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, man. In just about 10 minutes, we are supposed to be going live with the media conference. Are you expecting any further rollbacks? What could be done next? What is the Prime Minister coming to tell us next? You can call me up right now at 342-0081. 771-1791. You could WhatsApp call me at that number as well. Let me see if there's any voice notes. Voice notes. Let me see. I see I have two voice notes here. Hold on.
Good afternoon. The first caller that called, right, who said he went and carried money for the young lady last night.
Hi, good afternoon, welcome.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I am calling concerning this vaccine. Now, right, I have very close relatives went to the they was calling on the phone and they tried to call them online and saying that they didn't get to the center in a health center, police officers, right? Right, it was my close relative. So they went and they said, well, they're going to work, they're frontline workers. When they reached to the center in a health center, they said nurses have to get, you all are not frontline workers. Now listen to this again. That is one. They turned back to police. St. Joseph Health Center, there were a few doctors gone. My grand was one in it. There are young doctors in the Mount Hope Hospital, right? And they said frontline workers should have this first, right? When they reached the St. Joseph Health Center, with the multi-minister place, that is a multi-minister St. Joseph place, the security tell them, the vaccine here is for nurses, and he called the nurse, so they take out the badge. young doctors take out the bag and say, we are frontline workers and we come to get vaccine. So the nurses come out and say, the vaccine is for nurses, frontline workers, so they get turned back. Now you tell me this, Dr. Sina, I'm dead with this. I know that doctor very well in her mind. Dr. Mani Ram Rampon, he dead with this. He was the district medical officer there. And there were many other doctors. They wouldn't bring it out in quarantine. Is this something? 3 police officers there just a week or 2 with this. Is this something to send back frontline workers like that all? And then the Minister of Health, Dr. Kellen cannot cure, Dr. Terence they are saying, and then the next one, Dr. Rowley will come, and they're talking so much. With what? That is 200 vaccines to vaccinate Trinidad and Tobago. Shame. Thank you all for this time. Shame.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you so much, caller.
So she's trying to get the vaccine and she's not getting it.
Not getting the vaccine, and she's saying that doctors, who is frontline workers, is dying from that same after taking the vaccine. You could say after taking the vaccine.
Is that what she said?
Well,
no, I didn't want to go down this vaccine Pandora's box.
We only have about 5 minutes.
5 more minutes.
Hopefully before the prime
before
minister.
So we will talk up until.
I want to say good afternoon, going out to Pastor Google as well, for always going the extra mile
to make sure
everything is up and running. Hi, good afternoon, caller.
Yes, Pastor Google is a very, very, very hard worker.
Very hard worker.
Midnight and day.
Yes, very hard worker, Pastor Google.
He don't come, and listen me, we go for extra 50 minutes at a minute because you don't come on time. But he never keep.
You cannot say that. You can't. But Pastor Google always coming on time, man. Pastor Google always coming on time. The Prime Minister don't come on time.
No, not Pastor Google. I talk about the Prime Minister.
Yeah, we have half an hour. It's 3 o'clock is the press conference.
He don't ever. But I see a disturbing video on the airwave and so much. I don't know if they'll see it with that taxi driver. They asking some questions and he answering very stupid. You know what I mean? Because you cannot. I mean, you might understand what he's saying, but you cannot use these kind of words that who dare, who in dare, who in dare. Listen.
Let's make yourself here. You're here for a while. Oh, sorry, Kingsley. Go ahead. We are talking to someone here. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, you know it is. So I am concerned about how a taxi driver could just make this kind of wild statement out there. I also see a video going along in Fazabad. I am calling on the UNC MP because I was strongly advised that some street lights was removed from our area. We have over 50 people living in it, over 25 children. And I asking the MP, that is a UNC MP, and to get involved because they say since 2007, T&Tech come there and hook up the light. Last Thursday, the light was removed. I am asking the MP, please can you find out and lay the facts about these 2 street lights, because all this time when people getting robbed and killed.
I find that strange, Kings. It's they remove the street light. Who removed the street light?
T&Tech.
Nah, something wrong there. They don't remove street lights from street.
A woman bawling heavy. A woman, I was sent for your WhatsApp. A woman bawling.
Send that for me. I need to see that.
Somebody help me. Somebody help me. And the video showed the T&Tech man on the pole removing the street light. And because
the street light? You ought to show me that.
I don't see it. I don't see that video. You sure T&Tech man dressed in T&Tech uniform and want to the street light?
Maybe the street light wasn't working from before Kingsley. They wouldn't move a street light that is working.
Because the street light
was the street light working before Kingsley?
Yes, they say the street light they hook up in 2007.
Right.
2007 the street light was hooked up there. Right. They say the video, right? Said that the woman was making noise. She said that Tech come and move the video last Thursday, and they show your places now. When it was light, and now it's dark, and only house lights because house they ain't got no lights in the area. The only thing they remove the as you said, because I am not heavy anti-C. That why I call on the MP because the MP name mark up on the thing too. So, but I was sending a video there because I also
Yeah. Let me get some more information on that before we release that, right? Okay, Kingsley. Thank you.
What's the time?
The time is now.
You tell me the time.
2:28.
No, it's not.
I don't want to say 2:30. No.
Heavy, what's the time?
The time is now 2:30. Now, TC, there's a video circulating on social media.
Oh.
Right? And I find it disturbing. Of the President of the United States, Joe Biden, stating that he's going to release 80 million AstraZeneca vaccine, but you have to make sure it's good first.
You have to make sure it's good first. And then all they blaming the government for not taking the vaccine from America, right? And then I have a brethren. I want to say this. I want to say that because I'm going back to Olego call my PNM now because I want to say this. A friend of mine, I was speaking to him. He's now residing in America, right?
Yeah.
But he's from Trinidad. He's our good friend.
Right.
He's a mic man. He used to work on
one of
the prevalent radio stations, one of the achieved number ones, right? I'm saying this to say, his analogy or his paralysis in the analysis is America wants nothing to do with Trinidad. That is why we're not getting vaccines from them, because they want nothing to do with Trinidadians, right? Look at it, TC. You have to start to think outside the box. You understand? You have to start to think outside the box. And he was telling me why America wants nothing to do with Trinidad, and that's why we're not getting vaccine from America. Now, if the Prime Minister or the President of America is coming and say they're going to distribute X amount of vaccine, but they want to make sure that the vaccine okay first. Why would I even consider taking a vaccine from there?
You saw the video?
No.
You want to send it here?
I want you to send that video from me because I can't see a president making a statement like that.
And that is why I don't want to go down the vaccine, open the vaccine Pandora's box, because social media is full of...
and everybody's doctor and thing on
social media is full of videos and
why
stuff. And
this vaccine better than that vaccine, and why this vaccine better than that one, and who vaccine better.
It would be irresponsible of me as a talk show to come here and to talk anything about that, because we need to trust the process. And if the vaccine is a way forward for our country to be back to normal.
Who get it from and who's... all vaccine has side effects. So don't come with me and tell me the crap about, don't take it from this one or don't take it from that one because it has side effects. I could understand you saying don't take it from that one because the death ratio after taking this vaccine from that so and so is pretty high, and you give me that in facts. But you see this foolishness about this one, the side effects on that one. Every vaccine has side effects, and every vaccine takes the people's body differently. You know that, Heavy?
So the Chinese vaccine is here, and I want to let the lady that called in know that by I think by Monday they're going to start. I think this was the press conference is about
about the vaccine,
the distribution, and when how it's going to be, and I feel about the vaccine. I don't think it's more lockdown procedures.
All right. So it's about the vaccine.
I just speculating. I'm not sure, but the vaccine is here.
Because they can't lock we down no more.
The Chinese vaccine is here.
If you could get Google to come out the house, and he was now going and open the Pandora's box.
Okay. So as we await, we will take your calls as we await the live press conference. You can call us
at 2:30.
Well, it's past 2:30 now, so.
Oh, okay.
We're waiting.
Punctuality, there. Well, anyhow, the man is a busy man. You can't expect that. Hi, good afternoon. Welcome.
Hello?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You know what I said just now?
Yeah.
I said police officers were turned back. They did not get the vaccine.
They did not get the
Oh,
vaccine.
they didn't get it? Okay.
And the doctors was turned back from the St. Joseph Health Center. They said that the nurses as frontline workers, and they turned back the doctors.
Oh, so nurses is frontline workers, so doctors didn't get the vaccine as well.
The doctors did not get the vaccine, neither the police officers, and they are frontline workers. They came home without getting it.
Wow.
Okay.
Thank you.
That is real sickening, and them coming to, and this Dr. Terrence saying Dr. Killan cannot cure, and this that Dr. Rowley, they come on the TV and they're talking so much, boasting so much about what?
All right, caller, thank you so
much. All right, caller, we go to the press conference now.
Press conference. I think the press conference is up and running. We are just waiting to pull it across here. Google, yeah, come on my live now, Google. We were on my live, man. We were on the live. Share the live. Come on the live. I hear you write that tune for George, you know. Don't. You're managing George now, so I know you write that tune for him. And don't say it in there.
So people,
we are heading to the press.
We're heading to the press conference. So until next week, we're going to be back here.
Yep.
Right on the street 919 FM. So keep it locked. And
is this one here, Google? Keep it safe, keep sanitized, keep your mask on.
Yeah. And go and get your vaccine.
Go and get your vaccine if you could get the vaccine.
I think 49.5% of active cases hospitalized. We're seeing an increase in the number of people who actually have COVID and need hospitalization. So between September, 5.3%. In May, we're now seeing that at 8.0%, which will translate to a greater need for hospital care. Average daily number of patients in hospital in May, 316, September, 98. And just to sum it up, so in May, it was noted that more people without comorbidities are requiring hospitalization, in contrast to September, where the majority had pre-existing medical conditions. The gender distribution remained equal throughout the epidemic. 1/2 of persons in home isolation have symptoms in May, while 1/3 of those people had symptoms in September. And there has been not only an increase in the number of patients requiring hospitals, but also an increase in the percentage of active cases overall. I think we'll go into Dr. Hines' presentation, followed by Dr. Richards, and then Dr. Trotman.
Thank you, CMO, Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Ministers, colleagues, members of the media, members of the viewing and listening public. I will be reasonably brief in giving the epidemiologic update as at yesterday. Having already seen the data with respect to the numbers of new cases, etc., we'll dive directly into the epidemic curve. And here we're looking at the relationship between the restrictions that we would have gradually, incrementally implemented and the pattern of occurrence of cases. And the epicurve is, as it has been before, the gray, now short-looking bars being 2020, and the increasing in height from left to right as we move through the colored bars from January through to the current gold bars in May. We're seeing that upward trend in numbers of cases daily that has been going on since about March. And we do note that the closure of restaurants, bars, worship gatherings, more retail, non-essential public service, the biggest of the current restrictions. When we started doing the restrictions, we started with the small things and then made the big jump to closing many things at the same time. That occurred on the 29th of April, and we are seeing 2 weeks after that we're noting a peak in cases around the 11th, 12th, 13th of May, which may or may not be associated with that last-minute rush that we do note when something is closing or being threatened to be closed. There is a tendency to gather, but if you're doing that in a situation where virus is more prevalent, then that can spawn more cases, and it may be responsible for the heights of the bars around that time. The bars towards the right-hand end, which are currently shorter, we're still making sure that all the information has come out of the system relating to cases swabbed on those days, but they do seem to be a little shorter. We're hoping that as the rest of the data comes in, we begin to see something of a downward trend, but we can't say that we're seeing that just yet. The weekly positivity stands at about 47% just for this week 20, the week that we're currently completing. And we see that that positivity, that salmon area has continued to increase basically from mid-February all the way up. That positivity, again, reflecting the number of positive cases we get out of every 100 swabs that we take. Now, this doesn't mean that 45% of the population has COVID. The swabs that we take from high probability or high yield cases, which are cases who are symptomatic, or cases who are in contact with ill people. And out of that sampling group, what we've been seeing is this 45, 46, 47% positivity at this point in time. Looking at the monthly tallies, we see that May far and away has the largest tally so far, and May is nowhere near finished. We're already at 8,111 cases for the month of May. Average positivity for the month of May being about 43%. The gender distribution is largely, as the CMO has also indicated, approximately 50-50 male-female, and still the largest grouping being that 25 to 49-year-old age group. We do note that among the fatalities, we see there's a little bit of a swing towards more females and slightly younger people that we're noticing in this this new surge. So whereas previously we saw 75% men, we're now seeing only about 62% men and 38% women among the fatalities. And whereas the 60 to 69 was above or just around 70%, and the under 60 was 30% or less, that has increased to about 35, 36% at this point in time. Geographically, we're going to compare 2 weeks. The yellow dots here and the yellow bars representing week 18. So you see the distribution is across all community centers, let's say community centers, population centers in all communities. And for week 19, new yellow dots, so the ones that we saw here are now turned purple, and the new set take their place. See that the number of dots is still very similar. Still large numbers of cases across all the population centers. And when we sum that up by community, we get this sort of distribution, bearing in mind that the clustering in the Chaguaramas area actually has to do with a cluster that was mapped to a particular facility in the area, as opposed to being in the community in that area per se. The current and projected cases, as we've been showing, we made a projection using the data from the last 2 weeks of April, and that was the green curve that is going upwards there. We are beginning to see that at the approximately 2 weeks after that April 29th time frame, we're starting to see where those bars are falling away from that green projection very slowly, but hopefully that is a trend that can be optimized and maximized as the measures and the effects of those measures take hold. Looking at the current versus projected new cases and active cases, the new cases being those orange bars seen at the bottom of the graph, and the projected new cases, the ones that we thought may have happened if the epidemic continued along its projected trend at the start of May. Those green bars are taller than the actual cases, meaning we didn't have as many as projected, which is a good thing, but we still have a great number with respect to all of our internal capacities, and this is why we still need to ensure that we reduce the number of new cases by adhering to the measures so that we don't overwhelm those capacities, which Dr. Richards will speak about. And with respect to the active cases overall, whereas the yellow dots showed where the active cases were projected to go, we're now seeing that there is a slight trend towards fewer of those active cases, but we're not out of the woods. So we want to ensure that the behaviors that we continue to engage in reduce the accumulation of active cases so that we can reduce the strain on the public health system. And I believe there I will turn it over to Dr. Richards.
Good afternoon to the Honorable Prime Minister, the Honorable Ministers of Health, National Security, Energy, and the Office of the Prime Minister. Good morning, good afternoon to members of the media. Thank you once again for your continued participation in our press conferences. And to the listening and viewing population of Trinidad and Tobago. This afternoon, I would like to provide an update on the clinical statistics for the parallel healthcare system, especially as they are related to the hospitals in this system. As you can see from this graph, there has been an increasing number of new cases, a general upward trend, and the gap between the number of admissions and discharges has been closing over the last 4 to 5 days. If the last graph was expanded, you would notice that there has been a narrowing or an actual closing of the gap between admissions and discharges at the hospitals in the parallel healthcare system. This narrowing can be, or this closure can be attributed to two factors that are ongoing. Firstly, there is an improvement in the operational and allocative efficiency of the system. Over the last 24 hours, we added an additional 92 beds through the new Point Fortin Hospital, where there are 60 beds, an additional 32 beds at the Cooverfield Hospital. Furthermore, we have been reallocating human resources, that are doctors and nurses, into the demand areas. For example, we have additionally converted about 30 ward beds into 11 additional ICU beds. We have also improved the clinical efficiency, so we are looking at the accurate admission and discharge of persons. The 7-day rolling average, as indicated by Dr. Hines, continues to increase. We're currently at 508 as of today. And the daily admissions, we actually saw a decline in that trend recently or within the past week. This graph demonstrates the total hospital occupancy between Trinidad, Tobago, and an overall occupancy. And as of this morning, the overall hospital occupancy is at 70%. If we disaggregate or separate these occupancies, Trinidad is at 76% and Tobago is at 31%. We are also looking and charting the ward occupancy levels because different persons with COVID-19 require different levels of care. And of course, that determines how we allocate the relevant resources across the parallel healthcare system. You would see a red horizontal line, and a 75% occupancy is considered to be worrisome or one of concern. You would note that the overall occupancy and ward occupancy continues to trend upwards, and this morning it is at 74%. Now, the ward occupancy in Trinidad, if we separated Trinidad from Tobago, is actually at 81%, and in Tobago it's approximately 30%. You would also notice that the ICU occupancy has decreased, as well as the HD or high dependency unit occupancy has decreased. And we have, in fact, added ICU beds based on the demand for care. I would like to remind members of the population that resources are not unlimited. They will be used up at some point in time in the near future, and we are testing the resilience of the parallel healthcare system if we continue on the trends that we are. Lastly, I'd like to just summarize the hospital occupancy levels. Again, different hospitals are required for different levels of care. The Cora Hospital is currently at 93% occupancy. The Couva Medical and Multi-Training Facility, which cares for our most ill COVID-19 patients who require, the largest numbers of nurses, doctors, and personal protective equipment, ventilators, is at 71%. The Arima General Hospital, at this point in time, 99%, despite a phased increase in the number of beds. The Augustus Long Hospital, 81%. St. Anne's, 100%. The new Point Fortin Hospital this morning was at 73%, but as of 2 p.m., it is almost at maximum levels. And this demonstrates that although we continue to add beds and we continue to reallocate limited resources by moving and rationalizing doctors, nurses, and equipment, the beds continue to be filled. The area hospital, Point Fortin, one of the new step-down facilities that was activated last week, is currently at 85%. And the Port of Spain Field Hospital, activated on Wednesday afternoon, is filled at 100%. The day-based step-down facility is at 72%. And the UTT Valsane facility, which is another step-down facility, is currently at 55%. But we have to note that even though there are physical beds that are left at this facility, staff has been reallocated into new hospitals in that region. This demonstrates what I was just discussing in terms of the step-down occupancy. And the Cuba step-down facility was actually activated this afternoon. We have 10 beds with full resources, and of those, they are already filled. In closing, I'd like to remind the population to not become prematurely comfortable with the decline that they may have seen, or very small decline in terms of the overall hospital occupancy. This decline is due to additional beds that are being added. In other words, the Ministry of Health continues to increase on the supply side, but our resources continue to be strained. We are moving doctors, nurses, and ventilators between hospitals based on demands. The population needs to be reminded, and as a country, we need to be reminded that the only way to reduce the supply side of this equation and to really win this war against COVID-19 would be to continue practicing the 3 W's. On behalf of all frontline staff, we would like to remind the population to continue to wear your mask, watch your distance, and wash your hands. Thank you very much for this time this afternoon. I now hand you over to Dr. Trotman.
Honorable Prime Minister, ministers, colleagues, CMO colleagues, members of the listening and viewing public, members of the media, members of the healthcare sector. Today, I'd like to give a clinical overview of that patient that goes into the bed. We have talked before and emphasized by Dr. Pasram that we are seeing a bit of a difference in the demographics of the patients. The patients are a bit younger overall, and with less comorbidities, sometimes allowing them the opportunity to fight COVID-19 more effectively. But we are still seeing the elderly population with comorbidities who unfortunately have a higher chance of not doing as well. What we can do clinically for ourselves, particularly for those who are staying home, because the numbers show we have more people at home. Most times, most people at home are in an environment where there is somebody who is actually COVID positive. So your primary contact and risk of exposure is high. So we are asking that you please remember your 3 W's even while you're at home, and to wear your mask and effectively isolate from each other. It's also important for us to remember, for those who are going out, that we do not do so if we ourselves become ill. Less of us should be moving, because the state of emergency occurs for all citizens of Trinidad and Tobago 24 hours a day. That our movement should really be if it's only essential, and that has been determined by the regulations as to who is determined, who is essential. It is not business as usual. I have to tell you that we are worried still as the health community, because in moving around, we are still seeing a lot of movement, particularly in the daytime. So think about it. If somebody needs something in the grocery, everyone doesn't have to go. It is for us to understand that the virus moves amongst people and jumps amongst people. So please remember to try to restrict that movement and essential activity only when moving. And when you're at home, to remember to distance yourself and remember your 3 W's. The healthcare professionals are trying hard, but we are getting tired. It is a lot of work to deliver that high level of care the COVID-19 patient, it is not the same. And you can help us by decreasing the burden in terms of numbers. And you can do so by doing the 3 W's. I want to encourage when the vaccine is offered to you, that you take the vaccine. And remember that even as you take the vaccine, the 3 W's continue. Members of the public, we will win this fight. Together, we do our 3 W's, and we remember if we are sick that we do not go to work, and we also remember that even when we vaccinate, that we continue to stand on those pillars. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Trotman and CMO Dr. Abdul Richards and Dr. Hines. Members of the national community, I'm sure that many of you would be consulting your calendar and saying that the 23rd is not too far away. And when we started on this response to the increasing numbers of infections and also deaths, we had indicated that the actions that we were taking would be until the 23rd of the month. Today is the 22nd, and then long before the 23rd was approaching, we had to intervene and make additional restrictions, all in the fight against the numbers that were pointing to increased infections. Then, last time, we had to go towards a state of emergency. Excuse me. We are now in a state of emergency, and we are requiring to abide by those. Let me just, for clarity, point out that the simple responses that we are making to a simple understanding of the situation is that close human concentration and human movement, these two conditions, closeness of humans to one another, movements of humans in their spaces among one another, those are the conditions within which the virus that we are affected by propagates. And depending on that closeness, depending on those movements, the success or failure of the virus is what Dr. Hines reports in those numbers and those graphs. So the virus first has to survive among the human population. If it is there at a low level and we are moving around or we are too close to one another, then the virus resurges, and of course, if it continues to resurge without restraint, it overwhelms. That is what we're dealing with. So these, what you commonly call lockdowns at various levels, are meant to slow the spread of the infection, make the environment for propagation of the virus to be difficult for the virus. And that should reflect itself in lower infection levels, which are reported by the population as they show up with clinical expressions before the doctors. And while we're doing that, we also are vaccinating the population. And of course, you understand from Dr. Parashram and his team why vaccination, how it works, and how it is going to affect this fight. Now, whatever we do comes under these two categories: discipline and vaccinate. Under discipline is where you've been called upon to do these simple things of wash hands, wear your mask, and of course, watch your distance. If you are required to do these things, I don't know that you can look to the rest of the population beyond your personal self to wash your hands, unless you're small children under adult control. So let's take the wash your hands out. That is basic hygiene from primary school teaching. Watch your distance. That is discipline. And he didn't say watch your distance when the police is present, or when the prime minister is talking, or when you're out in the road. It actually, now more than ever, is required in many households in the country. Because from the information that we are receiving and from the data that we are tabulating and analyzing, is that a lot of our problem right now, a significant portion, is happening within inter-home connections. So isolation, as is practiced in the institutions, in the hospitals, those persons who are at home and are either known to be COVID positive, have symptoms that indicate that they may be COVID positive, and therefore following the instructions, if you don't feel well, if you're sick, you stay home. What goes with that? For your personal attention, where only you can deal with it, is some level of isolation, if you are able to, because we do know that in some household environments, isolation is physically almost impossible. But where you do have the opportunity, every single one is important, because this mathematics starts with 1, and 1 doubles to 2, and 2 doubles to 4, and 4 doubles to 8, and 8 doubles to 16, to 32, to 64. That's how it goes. So at that level, at home, try and remember what Dr. Chapman is trying to beg us to do. Be aware, and not sometime, is all the time, because the virus does not take weekends, it doesn't take holidays, and it is not a respecter of persons. All it wants is a human body. And of course, with respect to the discipline of wearing the mask, unless your nose and your mouth are covered by the mask, you are not masked. The mask covering your mouth only, with your nose outside breathing as normal, is virtually useless in your fight and our fight. And a mask below your chin to be pulled up if you see the police car is not being masked. Recently I had the opportunity, because if I came back from Tobago, I remember passing 7 gentlemen having a line, not too distant because they were fairly close, sitting on a somewhere, and all were masked, but all 7 masks were below chins. Now, if they were accosted by an officer of state in the state of emergency, you just pull it up over the nose. And I presume, as soon as the officer would have gone, for comfort, it comes down. So remember, if your mask is not covering your nose and your mouth, particularly your nose, you are not masked. Having a mask hooked onto your ears and under your chin. And I tell you this because the reports that we are receiving and which we are seeing is that a large number of people are still not masked. They may have a mask on, some don't have it at all, and you wonder if they live here, if they are aware, or if it is that they just don't care or they feel invincible. That sense of invincibility will only surrender to a high mortality report. And if it is that you are excusing yourself from it, understand that you're playing Russian roulette. Maybe I could do this and get away. Chances are I may not get away. And of course, in vaccinating, I say to you, what the experts have said, use the vaccines that are available. We have laid a yardstick that our vaccines will be vaccines approved by the WHO. Vaccines were available to us before without WHO approval, and we could have used them. But for all the good reasons given, our policy in this country was and continues to be that we will wait for the product to be certified by persons who we trust, and that trust comes to us from our international specialists. When they put the stamp of approval on it, we say then we'll use it. So it is not for us now to play biologists and to play virologists and to play whatever and say, well, we are into preference now. Well, of course, it's voluntary, so you always have that. But I would like to say the preference that we should have in Trinidad and Tobago, the preference is for WHO or non-WHO vaccines. That's what the country has been. Some of our CARICOM colleagues did in fact use and are using non-WHO approved vaccine. They use that. Our preference as public policy is WHO. So once we have the WHO approval, I am pleased to hear that the last batch that we got from a new source has been accepted and is being utilized, and the minister will tell you a bit more about that in a while. But once we get the WHO approval on products, we expect that they will be utilized on that basis. So what is the government's role in all of this? Because I seem to always want to emphasize the personal role. That's because, first and foremost, we come out and tell you, the government has taken responsibility for this population. You may ask, why is that being mentioned? That's what governments do. There are governments in the world that didn't do that, you know. There are hundreds of millions of people around the world today facing this very virus, where the government has not taken the kind of responsibility that we have taken from day one. And we took it on the basis that what this virus could do is to cost you your life, threaten your livelihood, and it is a medical issue. A medical issue. Because the virus makes you sick. You spread, if you are infected and not under control, you spread a medical condition to other persons, and the end result is the ultimate in our existence, which could be death. That's what it is. And your government has been with you from the beginning. Some things we can prepare for, and we were as prepared as we could where we are, and some things we couldn't prepare for, because as you remember, this started out as the novel coronavirus. The world didn't know anything about it. It came to us as human beings, and for a year and a half now we have been fighting it in every corner of the world. Hot zones, cold zones, high zones, flat zones. Rich countries, poor countries, we are learning as we go along. We are in a much better position today because we have some vaccines that are working, and we do have some severe challenges with those vaccines in terms of their distribution. But we here in Trinidad and Tobago, we have begun to see an improvement in the availability of vaccines to us. And we have been working very hard to improve that availability, and we anticipate that as we go forward, that the vaccination side of the fight will keep improving and getting better. For each person that we vaccinate, we are one step closer to a position where we want to be. So let us use our vaccines and not end up in a situation like some people have, where vaccines are now being dumped in some areas because they waited too long to have them on their way into arms, and these vaccines expire. They have an expiration date, they have a use-by date. We will make every effort to use every dose that we have within that expiration period, because it has now been very clear that once you get past the expiration date, the product ought not to be used. So we don't want to get there. One of the reasons why we have been able to receive two small, well, I shouldn't say small, two significant contributions from our CARICOM colleagues is that we at CARICOM, we have been fighting this together in a way. We have the bilateral approaches on the end, but basically CARICOM, we have been communicating. In recent days, I have been in communication with a number of my colleagues, whether it is Guyana, whether it is Bermuda, whether it is St. Vincent. And the offer from St. Vincent had to do with a preference there. And interestingly enough, their preference is for another product which they had used before WHO. We are hoping that they will get all that they need, but suffice it to say that the gift from St. Vincent is well received. We accepted it after it became very clear that they were in danger of ending up with expiration issues. And the last thing we want in the CARICOM is for one dose of that vaccine to be unutilized because of expiration problems. Having said that, in the event that something happens in St. Vincent in the not too distant future or whenever, and we are in a position to reciprocate, I will not hesitate to return to St. Vincent any equivalent that we can afford. But in the meantime, thankfully, the blessing that they are having now after the volcano experience is that they do not have an outbreak and they are able to get away from vaccine expiry by cooperating with us. Bermuda, being, as I told you at the last sitting when we were here, I told you Bermuda had got a fair attention from the British government, it being a British colony. They have preferences which they could utilize, and therefore they could share with us in a way without threatening their own positions, and they did not hesitate to make some of their doses available to us. So that's where we at. But so far, ladies and gentlemen, we have done pretty well as a country. At the very beginning, at the very first press conference I had, talking to the population about what was coming